Welcome to another episode of the Mike Drop, starring Sean Booker, Omer Shawn, and Mike Erlbacher.
What's going on, guys?
What is up?
Well, I didn't work today, so it was a good day.
Changing it up.
There you go.
I'm looking forward to those protein pizzas.
Protein pizzas.
Protein keto pizzas.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
keto pizzas we're eating tonight?
Made by Quest Nutrition. Tom Beloliu, if you want to sponsor me. I watch your content on YouTube as well.
Links in the bio. Just kidding.
So what's on the agenda for today, my dude?
Hey, got any
Finance.
No.
Money.
No, it's not. Yeah, I thought we didn't.
That's next.
Ghost stories.
Yep.
Guys, got any good ghost stories?
I only got the one.
Let's go start with Omar first.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I got a couple. I don't really have good stories, but I have a lot of different things.
Yours personal, like your own
One
experience?
personal thing of mine.
Okay. Yeah, I've never had anything happen to me, but it was my older sister. She's playing hide and seek with my other sister, and she goes to the bed, and we had this huge comforter, so she lifts it up, and she goes, "There you go, I found you." And apparently my other sister that was hiding under the comforter, she smiles, and she has a gold tooth.
Is she a
And
pimp?
my younger sister goes like, "Where'd you get that? What's on your tooth?" And she just lets the comforter go, and she walks away. So now,
While your sister's still underneath the comforter?
right?
Okay.
Yeah, the one with the gold tooth
Right, yeah.
is still under there.
Yeah.
She looks right there. I found you, and she smiles, and she just walks away. Then she realizes what's on her tooth. She goes back there, lifts it up, and she's not there. And my sister calls out from the closet, "No, you didn't." And my sister goes, "I just saw you. What do you mean?" She goes to the closet. She's there, and then she realizes what happened, and then she probably saw a ghost that was impersonating my other sister. She gets freaked out. She doesn't tell anyone. She goes to the bathroom, cries for hours.
Aw.
Oh, she came out, probably told us months after that this is what happened, and this is why I was freaked out. And I was like, "What the hell? That's insane."
I thought for sure you were going to say she went underneath the comforters. And you know how in the movies you could say, if someone's underneath the sheet or a blanket
You can
and you
see
see
a
the bulbs
pile,
there,
yeah.
and then they just drop down and disappears when you pull it away.
Right,
That's what
yeah,
I thought
don't
you
know.
were going to say.
She
I was
didn't
like,
really
no way.
mention that, but all I remember her saying, I was maybe 7 or 8, and she's 4 years older. So
Yeah.
Oh,
she's older than?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's 4 years older.
Oh, wow.
So she must have been 12 or 13.
Yeah.
But that was pretty scary. But
Wow.
other than that, we lived our house was we're in the suburbs. It was a mini farm, you could say. We had a bunch of animals, huge backyard. It was pretty dark at night. We used to climb trees, go out, and never saw anything that would freak me out like
Right.
that. But I was scared, but not that I experienced anything. So that was pretty freaky what my sister experienced.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, imagine being this age now, day and age, you know what I mean? And you see that.
That would be crazy, yeah.
That would...
But I would, be like, "Yo, what's up?
Bam! Give me that tooth,
Who are
motherfucker.
you?"
There's been a couple at my house now that I got. Nothing haunted has happened. I mean, the house has made a couple strange noises.
Mhm.
I want to say to myself, that's just the house settling. The house is from 1965. It's been settled for a long ass time. So
Pipes,
you know what I mean? It's something's inside the wall,
65 years?
knocking, kung, kung, it's weird. I would do it back.
That
to
happens
be
in
an
my
asshole.
apartment too. It drives me nuts. It just goes knock, 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 like random rapid knocks, and I was like, "Why?"
One time I had, when I looked at my old house, in my bedroom, there was a noise tapping on my window, and I looked outside, out the window. There's nothing there, nothing around. And I'm freaking out, what the fuck is it?
It was me years ago. Piss him off.
Yeah, it was probably 12 or 13, but it was, you know what it was? A woodpecker.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Wow, fucking woodpecker. And I am fucking swearing today because we're not even monetized, so why fuck not?
that's crazy.
I did the other day when I was in my basement. Oh, no, okay, so I have cameras around my house.
Mm-hmm.
One's in the stairs, one's in the basement, and one's
In the
actually
bathroom.
inside the apartment.
Okay.
It's facing outside. And these cameras are set to only turn on and record when it detects
Motion.
movement.
Yep.
Movement or Yes, Mike, can I help you?
The new house or your old house?
The new house.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Thanks.
So, I get notifications on my phone from the app
Saying there's movement.
when there's movement. And I have 4 videos that are all like a couple seconds long, and nothing's there. And it's only just this camera that's been doing it. They're all like...
And where's that? That's for the basement?
This is in my basement.
Huh.
I thought about switching the cameras to see if the camera still does it, but I haven't switched them at all, but it hasn't happened since.
Well,
it started at the end of December and stopped at the beginning of January. It's weird.
Right. Also, one more thing. Like, cameras could be picking up something that your visuals or naked eye cannot see.
I mean, it could be a dust particle. Who
like,
knows?
well,
You know what I
it
mean?
could be like heat, like
heat signature.
Heat signatures picked up as infrared.
Maybe
so if you have like a random gust of like warm air out of your vent.
Maybe, yeah. I'm just saying it, yeah.
Like, if you grab that remote real quick, it's a pretty cool experiment if you guys want to try this out at home. The first time I experienced it, I was freaking out. I was like, whoa, this is insane. Like, your naked eye cannot visualize infrared radiation. That's what TV remotes and stuff work off of. But your phone camera can. So if you turn your camera on and point it to a TV remote and hit a button, you'll see it flash. Whereas if you look at the lens on the remote, when you hit the button, you won't see any flash. But you see it through the screen. So it's pretty crazy. I don't know if you guys can see this on the camera there.
Probably
but,
not.
Here, I'm going to try to...
Sorry for the shitty quality of the video this week. If you want to sponsor me, any camcording companies.
No, I think this
You
is
got
a
to point it at
different
the
kind.
TV? Or you got to point
No, you see this little thing here? It'll light up.
Okay.
So I don't see it right now, but try it out at home. So try it with your camera. I've experienced it a couple of times. Some of the newer remotes are going to a different kind of frequency, Bluetooth and stuff, where you don't have to point it at it, like the Amazon Fire Stick and stuff. Yep. So those you won't see it, but it's pretty crazy. So it could have been something like that, ultraviolet or...
Nah, nothing.
Yeah, I think that's Bluetooth too, because I see that little thing flashing while it's not even pointed at it.
Yeah, this box here?
Yeah,
that's the box.
So it's picking that signal up.
Look at this.
You see flash?
No. Look at the corner of my screen here, ready?
Yeah, it's picking up some signal.
It says HDR every so often I hit the button.
It's picking up some signal, but it's not visualizing it.
That was cool.
Yeah, I don't know. But
yeah, once it focuses, it says HDR on. I'm hitting the up button on the remote.
Right.
That's fucking weird. So, but other than that, nothing really happened in my house. I was down in the basement one day too, and some dishes upstairs moved.
Whoa!
But
what do you mean? It just crashed or?
Like you hear them like they're in the. I don't know what dish it even was. Never found anything.
Top apartment or the bottom?
I want to say the top one.
No, you don't give a shit. You're not living there.
Well, kind of. I am right now. But nothing really too much other than that in my house. Nothing in my mother's house either. Nothing ever happened.
It's got that crawl space in the one bedroom.
Those are fucking creepy. They're in all the bedrooms. Those are weird.
I've had some like freaky experiences where I'm like camping in the middle of the desert or like out in the middle of nowhere, but I never experienced anything that would prove the existence of ghosts.
The only actual
I do believe in them.
It's hard for me to say.
As entities, as actual creations, not that they're souls of people that lived or that passed away, stuff like that. But I believe ghosts are real.
The ghost story I've been told most recently was a guy that I've met in my Hearst group. He does like paranormal activity study and try to talk to him, whatever. Mm-hmm. He's at a house, some old house. He was doing some type of study up in the attic. Okay. Like actually has all the equipment, this and that, temperature shading, the infrared, whatever.
Right.
And there was a light up in the attic, and the light was shining down. It was dark time, so the moonlight was shining through the light and up against the wall / floor, whatever. Some lady asked him to come over and to check it out. And nothing really happened too much, except towards the end when we were getting ready to leave. He says, as he was ready to file things up or something, or was taking something off the wall, something out of the corner of his eye, something went by the reflection of the light.
Whoa.
And I maybe the lady had cats, so I think he might have said that. He goes, maybe it's just that.
Right.
But he had his back up against the wall, and he claims he felt somebody with hands came up and put it on his shoulders,
shoulder.
and
Oh
he's up
my-
against the wall.
That's nuts.
He goes,
would
I got
freak
so
out there.
freaked out, I packed my shit up, and I got the hell out of there.
I
No,
would
but that's
shit
what, like,
myself.
that's what you're looking for, though.
Yeah,
From stuff.
no.
Why are you so scared? That's
Yeah, I
what
would-
you're trying to find.
I would have pissed my
I didn't think it
pants.
was true. That's why
It's real. But the only issue I ever had is that you guys know Pigman's Road in Angola, New York.
Heard of it. Never been there.
Well, that's the nickname for it. It's called Pigman's Road. I don't actually know the actual name of the street. I used to know, but I forgot. You know anything about it?
No.
So apparently, the legend has it.
Give
and
me
you-
the big
and you
story.
can look it up. Look it up online. There's 2 stories to this Pigman's Road.
Okay.
So Pigman's Road,
Angola, right?
yes, is a haunted stretch of road between 2 sets of tracks. And one of the tracks, back in the 1800s, early 1900s, I'm not really sure, a train crashed, toppled over, like 110 people burned to death, lost their lives. So it claims that they haunt the track area. Okay.
Okay.
But the reason why it's called Pigman's Road is because there used to be a pig farmer out there
Okay.
who would, have a pig farm, slaughter them, whatever. And a whole bunch of kids at one point, or over the years, would torment them, whatever, yell, pigman, whatever, just mess with them, destroy his property, whatever. So he had enough of the bullshit from these kids. So apparently, I think he used to hang pigs' heads on stakes around his property to try to scare people away.
Oh, okay.
I guess that only went so far and worked so much. He eventually killed kids, cut their heads off, and put them on the stakes around his property.
On the stakes.
Is that like
Yeah.
a myth or?
And that's just a legend. Legend has it. That's why he,
Wow.
and whatever. And,
I don't know how he got away with that.
well, I'm sure he didn't, if it's true. But if you're in between the 2 train track bridges, these bridges, they're so old, they're only
Right.
they're single lane. You get one car
I mean,
at a
you
time.
don't know. Back in the day,
Yeah,
you
don't know.
society was messed up.
But
You
this
could
is
kill
the
and get
one
away with
side.
it.
I know exactly what this is. That's the main bridge there that a lot of trains go across. But all inside that tunnel is all full of graffiti, Pigman stuff, Pigman this, blah blah. Another legend is too, if you park in this tunnel here, you turn your lights off, you turn your car off there, you roll down the windows and yell, Pigman, Pigman, Pigman. Your car's not supposed to start.
Huh?
But I've done that several times, and it's always started at night.
Yeah,
you know
because
what I mean?
I would want to try it out.
So it's something we could definitely do. As it gets warmer out, we all take a
Yeah.
limo.
How
We
far
all
is
take a
it?
limo, go out there and do it.
How far is it?
It's down to 90, less than an hour.
Oh, cool.
45 minutes to 50 minutes around there. But the only story I've actually ever had there, people own property off this road. There's actual driveways out there with gates, whatever, and someone's property goes way back. There's a lot of people own the property out there. With a buddy of ours in his car with a bunch of his friends. And a buddy was driving, I was in the front seat, and 3 of his friends were in the back. We're on someone's property, facing the gate. Car's off. We're just sitting there chilling, hanging out, whatever.
Okay.
And my friend is not saying nothing. He keeps just flicking on and off his high beams. There's lights. Just every sub just kept looking like he was so focused on something in front of him. But everyone else is kind of distracted. We're all having a conversation, joking around, whatever.
You guys are trespassing.
Technically. Would it be fun without breaking the law? So, after a couple minutes of sitting there, he goes, guys, what is that? He has his lights on. And we see the driveway comes to a little hill, comes up and comes over a little bit. We see 2 orange glowing eyes looking at us just over the top of the driveway of the hill. Orange glowing eyes. Obviously, it could be any type of animal.
Deer.
Who knows?
Raccoon.
But the lights are shining on it. All we see is 2 eyes.
Right.
You don't see a face structure, nothing. So we all start screaming like, "Holy shit! What the fuck? Oh, let's get out of here!" Whatever. And the eyes slowly go back down below the hill, like not turn around and run away. Like they just.
That's
back down.
Not normal.
And we didn't park in no one's driveway ever again after that. That's the
Whoa.
only actual closest thing to a ghost I think. Maybe probably an animal. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but why would it do that? You
Again,
know
it
what
didn't
I mean?
blink or
Yeah.
nothing. They just looked at us.
Could have been
lights
a
on.
snake.
Maybe. I mean, it looked like it was like a creature. Like, it wasn't no tiny little eyes. It was like it was 2 eyes. You know what I mean?
That's
Looking straight
crazy.
at us.
Yep. Uh-huh.
But other than that, that's the only like ghost really story I've ever experienced there at Pigman's Road. I also try to go to Goodlesburg, which is like a haunted old cemetery from like the 1800s or something like that. That you're not allowed in after dusk. The cemetery closes. But the legend there is there's a pond nearby, and apparently there was some type of doctor, an abortionist doctor, whatever, back in the day when women wanted abortions, he would take the fetus or whatever after they had the abortion and dump it in this pond. Well, one day apparently the pond overflowed, filled up, something a bunch of snow melted, it filled up, and all the fetuses were still in there, some of that, and they kind of overflowed out in the street. Something along the lines of that, where they're all exposed then, shit like that, and that's why it's haunted now, something like that. But that's a really creepy place to be too at night. You know what I mean? Because there's no lights out there. There's nothing. You're on a dead end street. There's a couple houses, but they're a little farther away. You know what I mean? There's nothing around. Old tombstones, stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool to be there though. But you can be on Pigman's Road anytime you want because it's a public road.
Right.
Just can't go on the properties. But the cemetery closes once the sun settles, so you technically can't legally be there after a certain time.
Sounds like they're hiding something.
And I've walked the woods near this that, trying to find something. Nothing ever really happened. But, you know, it's still just a creepy feeling knowing a story. But, Mike, you remember the one girl who used to work at Denny's, you know, at the school with, that brought in those pictures from the Buffalo train station? Mm-hmm. She had a picture. She was on a ghost tour of the train station downtown, or the Buffalo train station near downtown. And
Buffalo Central Terminal.
Yes. And she has a picture of one of the rooms doing a ghost tour, and the ceiling in that room collapsed from the floor above and landed on the floor of that current room she was in. So you couldn't get in there. But the door was open, it was roped off, whatever, so you can take a peek in. Well, she took a picture of inside the room. And when she had the camera, or the film developed, or whatever it was, I don't know how long ago this was. Maybe she had it on her phone then too, I don't know.
About 5 years
Somebody noticed something in the picture. And she had the picture blown up and zoomed in and all, pixelized, whatever, so it came in clear. Then had a couple pictures of it getting closer, like individual pictures themselves.
Right.
And you can clearly, clear as day, see a ghostly woman in a white dress standing like right past the wall, looking at her, looking at the camera actress. Like you could tell it's a woman dressed and everything. And then when she points out in the picture, you can see the little white figure, which you wouldn't notice really until someone pointed it out. And she had another one zoomed in a little bit, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. And then she has one completely zoomed in, and you're like, holy shit! Like that's a woman standing there looking at you, it's not. It looks like a ghost. It's all white. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That was really cool to see.
Wow, that's scary.
That was really cool. But
that's believable though. Yeah, I believe.
Like there's photograph right here. Like it was like, oh, it looks like a woman. No, it was a woman. Like, wow. That's just a prop somebody put there to. You know what I mean? Some worker made, but it didn't look like no proper worker. It actually looked like a
prop
ghost.
Wouldn't be see through.
Yeah, like it was weird. It was cool. It was weird. But that's all I really got. There's nothing else that really ever personally happened to me that proved it. You know what I mean?
Usha.
But what do you got, Mike? I feel like you got a good one saved up that might top us all.
I don't know if it's really good. It's just my experience in general.
Well, it's okay.
It's not really ghost either. It's more about vampires.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah, I haven't really told anyone this one, so.
Now you're telling the whole fucking world.
Yeah.
Or all 21 people who may watch this one, not including us.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Stay tuned next week to figure out what I say.
Yeah!
I'm just fucking with you guys. I love my fan bases. Let's go. Mic drop all the way. All right. So, I don't know how to start it because it's been a while. I don't know.
Start from the beginning.
Clearly. So I think I was, 12, 14.
Somewhere around there.
And it's weird because I actually have two different stories.
Two vampire stories?
Yeah, and I think they might be both connected. We'll just say they're connected because it's been a while. I don't remember. Okay. I try not to think about it. But anyways, one morning I woke up living on my old house. My brother and sister still used to live there. So it was before my little brother was born.
Oh, okay.
That's how long it's been. So over 16 years.
Yeah.
I go to my brother's room to see if he was up. It was like 10 in the morning on a Saturday. He wasn't there. Go to my sister's. Wasn't there. Dad's home. Mom's at work. I think she was working at Mercy Hospital then, or Hallmark. I don't remember. My dad said, oh, your mom's going on lunch. We're going to meet her at Elton's. So we go to Elton's over on, I think, Walden. There's one.
Yes.
Walden and
Union.
Union, yep.
So you know how you go in there, there's the whole counter where you order the food, and then there's that little section you could sit in on the left.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, place is ghost town. No one's even in there. No staff, nothing. We go in there, I look to see where my mom is. Nothing. I go in that section off to the left. And in the corner where you can't see anyone is, once you go in there, I see a bunch of vampires. Just chowing down on people.
Really?
Not chowing down. It was
hell?
like biting their necks and stuff. It was.
Were you the only one that saw it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think my dad went to the bathroom while we were in there. Like I don't know.
Oh, so your dad was gone in the bathroom and you're looking around the restaurant.
For someone, yeah. Like I don't know like how that even all registered in my head. It was just a weird story, but
And Mike's never been back to that restaurant ever since.
yeah, I've been on the one on transit.
We're going to that one on Walden next week.
So no, we Dad's like, all right, let's go. I don't think he even bothered looking. And then it was like all of a sudden night outside, and we're going home, and on a motorcycle there is a werewolf and a vampire on the back. Now I took a double
Mike
look.
was
at,
on some
Was
good
it
ass
on
drugs when he was 12.
Halloween?
No.
Or-
No, I mean Halloween in Buffalo is not a good time to ride your motorcycle. And I like double looked. I'm like, didn't realize it at first. I'm like, oh, they must be wearing masks or something. I looked again. Their whole body was fur and on the
Maybe
wolf.
they were going.
This
to a
was leaving
costume
Alton's
party.
and
Leaving Alton's, going home. We get home. I'm freaked out at this point. And then my brother
Did you eat anything?
my brother and my sister were home, but their heads were like, I couldn't see the front of their face. I see the back of the heads when I walked in.
Yeah.
And I tapped my brother's shoulder, like, where the hell are you guys? And then all out of like nowhere, they just had fangs in their mouth and everything.
Dude, you sure you weren't tripping?
I
on
Maybe they were
LSD?
fucking with you the whole time.
Someone slipped like LSD or something in your food.
Dude, I don't know.
And your parents and brother all the time, like,
That's
yeah,
what's-
that idiot never said nothing about that day we fucked with him.
I don't have dreams much, and if I do, it's not that like detailed. Like every
Did you feel like bright lights somewhere, like vibrant
There
colors
was
or
time-
anything like that?
on LSD.
I don't know, but
Doctor prescribed.
hallucinations. You know, it's just
I
crazy.
don't, dude. It was weird.
Wow.
It was. Yeah.
Did your mom and dad and someone see those bikers at least?
No.
Nobody
The
saw.
only thing I saw was what I saw. Like I don't. That's why I don't bring it up. 'Cause I was
Wait,
time.
talk to them. See if they remember that.
Oh, I can't remember yesterday. More or less.
To go, I've been waiting for you 16 years to say something else about it. Yeah, we were fucking with you that whole day.
Yeah, I'm
You
gonna-
idiot.
I'm gonna do a lawsuit after.
I can't believe you didn't say anything at all.
Wow.
I don't know. That's my story. That's all I
Wow.
got. It was just creepy. Actually, I do have another one. I slept over at my friend's house the one time. His name's Chris. He lives in Williamsville. My mom's friend's friend. And I slept over. I was younger, and he just moved in that house. And I don't know. I think I've only ever been there twice when this happened. That was the second time. We were in bed, and I just kept hearing like he's sleeping. He's out cold. His parents weren't even home that day. Like at night, just me and him. I can hear him snoring, but like in the background, no lie, I can hear voices talking back and forth.
Was it a single house? Was it a double?
It was a single house. And I woke him up. I said, "Do you hear that?" He's like, "Oh man, go to sleep." I'm like, "Okay."
All right, someone's in your house about to kill us. Whatever. I guess I'll just sleep it off.
And I like okay, so his bed is like in the corner, and it's a long room. It's as long as probably this basement from like that end to that end.
Yeah.
So his bed's like over where the bar is, and his closet's way over at the other end. So it's like whatever. That's where the noise is coming from. So I like.
Oh, like it was super close by.
It was like that close by. Like I can
Wow.
hear it coming
Yeah.
from his closet.
Yeah, that'd freak me the hell
Yeah,
out,
and
too.
I was like,
Hell
dude, I
yeah.
can't sleep here anymore. And I called my mom. Said, hello. She's like, there's nothing to do. You'll find no one's there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then I called their mom, his mom.
Oh, yeah, he was freaked out,
She
huh?
goes, yeah, that's just grandma. Oh my god.
You're not supposed to hear the kids.
Did she say something when you called her?
She's like, oh, we're gonna be home soon. We're just finishing up here. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, probably banging it out somewhere. Yeah, fuck these kids.
Yeah, I don't know. That one's creepy too. And that's all my ghost stories.
So my
Wow,
cousin's
that's
house.
crazy.
Nothing ever spooky happened to me here, but I see where my cousin's house a lot. They have a 4-bedroom house. All the bedrooms were upstairs, and they would switch rooms every couple years, just swap it up, switch them, whatever. Because there was 3 boys, my 3 cousins, my aunt and uncle. One room he was in, he had this set of bunk beds in the corner of the room, and he had a twin bed off to the other corner of the room. He always slept in the twin
That's
bed.
how his was too. It was a bunk bed.
Yeah, oh, see? So I saw he slept on the upper bunk bed. He slept down on his twin bed, and nobody was in the bottom. But for some reason, every time I slept
Poke.
in that room, in that bunk bed, up in that corner, that spot of that room, I had the strangest dreams and always remembered them. Only when I slept over his house in that room in that spot. If I slept on the floor in a different thing, nothing. Only in that room in that corner.
Was there a dream catcher in there?
That's crazy.
Are they supposed to stop you from remembering your dreams or something?
I don't know what they're.
Never any bad dreams. Just I always remember. I always freaked out. Just weird, which weird, like cool stuff. Like it was cool. Like I love sleeping there. Like yeah, what am I gonna dream about tonight? You know what I mean? It was only then.
I tell myself that first story I told you was a dream. And I was,
Gotta hope it's a dream, right?
but like I said too,
Maybe it was. Who knows?
I don't remember any detailed dream like that in my life. Like we're talking about the motorcycle was a Harley Davidson. Like I know all the details.
Right.
That's nuts.
The same friend who drove me to Pigman's Road.
Mm-hmm.
Before he moved over to how we met him, he lived over in a house off of Clinton, actually near my house now. Off of Clinton, near West Seneca, Clinton Elementary School, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it was a single house, and he claims this house was haunted. He told me a couple things why. I kind of forgot every detail, but he said he used to have a dog there.
A dog?
He used to have a dog at this house. This dog would bark at nothing. Like, go in the corner in the wall and start barking at something. Look up at the ceiling and start barking. Like, going nuts like crazy. Not just...
I do believe
not just
dogs
bark, like viciously barking like something's about to attack them.
Right. I do believe dogs can... animals can sense
I think
I'm
so,
not going to
too.
lie. That gave me a lot of chills right now.
Seriously, yeah. And he was... I don't know whatever else would happen. Like, I don't know, noises or lights, whatever. But he was always home alone a lot, too. And he would keep all the lights on because he was scared. He was younger then, you know what I mean? So we drove by the house, like maybe, X amount of time after he told me those stories. He pointed it out to me or something. It was at night, like late at night. And every single light was on in that house, every single room. And I said to him, like, man, why is every single light on? Like, every single light. He goes, because that house is haunted and they're probably fucking scared too. I'm like, maybe. You know what I mean? Because he goes, when I lived there, I had every single light on too.
That's nuts.
And every single light, every single room, all around, every window was lit up. Like, that the lights were on.
We should go knock on their door. You know where it is?
Yeah.
We should go knock on their door. Is it your house?
Is your house haunted, sir? Who told you?
How do you know? I used to live here.
Another story I remember, this was like, I'm going to say 2012, 13. I had that white Nissan truck, and we would go out every Thursday night to the desert, like right around sunset. We'd drive around, and then we'd hang out, maybe, grill some hamburgers, hot dogs, whatever, and then go home at night. Because the weekends were Fridays and Saturdays. That's why we went Thursdays. Anyways, we're there at like 4 in the afternoon on this Friday. So I go up on this dune, park there. We're all chilling, hanging out, eating sunflower seeds and like snacking on stuff and shooting the shit. And my buddy's messing around, and he's talking about ghosts, and he's like, "Oh, we had a bonfire going," and he goes, "All right, so we gotta leave those burning embers hot. Like we don't have to cover them up. Leave them out so the ghosts can eat them." He says, "Oh, that's their food." Anyways, so it gets dark. It's nightfall by the time we start, making a move. Some of these guys have work the next morning. They work at banks, so they worked. I don't know if it was Saturday or I don't know. Anyways, so they had work the next morning. So they start leaving, and when I try to move, my truck's all fine. Obviously, we deflate the tires a little bit to go into the sand.
Yeah.
My truck's parked upright. It's like perfectly level, right? I start moving it, and poof, one of the tires goes flat. So I'm like, oh, I might have deflated it a little too much, because obviously I wasn't like measuring anything or checking the pressure. I was just doing eyeballing it.
Yeah.
But I might have deflated it a little too much. That's why it popped off the bead.
Oh,
and it just, I was like, all right, I got a spare tire in the back. I put the spare wheel on, tighten it up. Now it's a pain in the butt to jack anything up in the desert, because your jack just digs into the sand.
Yeah.
It won't lift the vehicle up. So you got to put like floor mats, wooden planks, whatever you can find.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got it up, put the wheel on, pop it on. I start moving it. I haven't turned the wheel or anything. Your tire will pop off the bead if it's turning, right? Because there's side flex.
Okay, yeah.
Or whatever. But I start moving it, pop goes the other one. I'm like, how's this even possible, right? 2 tires in one go.
Yeah.
And it's just parked there. It was parked the whole time. Why didn't it pop off then?
Yeah.
Anyways, I grabbed a spare wheel. We all had the same trucks, all Nissan Patrols. I grab a spare wheel off of my buddy. I'm like, I'm going to pop this on, get back to town. We're like an hour away from home. I'm like, once we get back there, I'm going to have my tires remounted, and I'll give this back to you. He was my neighbor. So I'll give this back to you tomorrow. You can leave because you got work tomorrow, whatever. So everyone leaves except for me and this one guy. We stay there, put in the tire on, put it on, start moving. All right, we get it out. Me and this one guy that owned another truck, and then there was this guy that rode with me. His name was Valentine Daniel. He was Nigerian. He was a student at our school. Cool guy. If you're listening, thanks for all the help that night. Dude, I was beat. So we were in the desert from like 4 in the afternoon to the next morning. It was like 3, right, in the morning. And I put the second tire back on. I start moving. I had these axle locks on there, which
The 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, it can disengage your front axle,
Yeah.
so it's less rolling resistance for when you don't need 4-wheel drive.
It's old school.
Yeah. That thing just shattered into pieces. I'd been racing around with that for weeks. And it just shattered into
Well, that's why it shattered, because you beat the shit out of it.
But, dude, why did it shatter when it wasn't under, like, that amount of stress?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, 2 wheels and that differential thing.
All moving 3 feet.
So, like,
Don't buy Nissan Patrol.
Dude,
From Dubai.
I was flabbergasted. I was like, what the hell is even going on?
Yeah.
So this other guy, he
I left the truck there. I left it there. Said, see ya. Ditched in the desert.
He's like, yo, dude, you got to move it. I mean, what are you going to do? We can't come back tomorrow. We got work and stuff. I was like, all right, are you cool with staying later? He's like, yeah, I'll drive you home. We drove home an hour away and back.
Yeah.
Grabbed my tools. I grabbed my factory axle hub nuts, whatever, instead of the locks that I had on there that could disengage it. The factory ones would just lock on. You couldn't disengage it with a switch. Anyways, I put those on in the desert in the middle of the night with cell phone camera light.
No,
right.
like that.
I mount that on, and he goes, I'm beat. It's like 4 in the morning or like 5 in the morning. It's like almost sunrise, right?
Yeah.
He goes, I gotta go to work. I'm gonna go home, shower, and take off. I'm like, you're good. He stayed with me till I drove off of the dune into the street, and right next to the street we parked. I was airing up my tires. He aired up his tires. He had a portable compressor, and I was airing up mine. I was like, dude, you take off. I'm good here. We're on the road. Just go. He goes. I didn't even air up my tires. I was like, fuck this shit. We're going to stop at the gas station. I'm going to drive slow. Let it be deflated. It's fine. I'm driving down the road, and my front tire, the one that blew out, the second tire that was blown out, and then I put a spare on it, which wasn't deflated. That's on the front axle. It just pops off. And my truck falls onto the rotor, into the road, and it just
You probably didn't tighten up the
down.
lug nuts enough.
Dude, I cranked them hard. I mean, obviously I was using a T tool, but whatever, but I tightened them hard.
Yeah.
There were 6 of them. And it just popped off, and my truck fell into the road, and I was like, oh my God. I gave up then. I was beat.
Yeah. I stopped the truck.
12
Fuck
hours
this.
in the desert, 14 hours. Anyways, I gave up. So this Valentine, he goes, I'm going to go look for it. It's pitch black, darkness. Like, you can't see shit.
Oh, the tire
I
went
just saw
bouncing, it was gone?
It wasn't bouncing, it was gone, yeah. I didn't have a spare tire either, because
Yeah.
I used it.
Neither did your buddy, because you took it.
Right? Well, my buddy was gone
Yeah.
by this time. It was just me and Valentine were in my truck driving home. And I go like, dude, if you want to go look for it, I saw it bouncing in that direction, I'm done. He walks, he comes back maybe 15, 20 minutes later with it on his back. He can't even roll a tire in the sand. But he was like, dude, I found it. It was all the way down, like half a mile down on top of a sand dune. I was like, how the fuck did it end up there?
Roll.
Dude, anyways, we jack it up again, put that on somehow. My door's dented in, my fender's dented in.
Yeah.
Before this, I had my truck wrapped in another color, so my paint was messed up anyways. I was like, I'm just going to paint the whole truck again,
Yeah.
Get it brand new before I sell it, nice fresh paint. Put that new tire on. I had to crawl in and out at the window because my door wouldn't open. Anyways, got it together, went back home, dropped him off. He was staying at this student accommodation stuff where they had the whole building full of like students that were going to our school. Dropped him off there, went home. I slept the whole day, and then I was like, dude, what the hell even happened? And then I was thinking about, well, we were talking about ghosts, and it could have been something supernatural that was just out to get me. One thing after another.
That you did put the fire out, and they're pissed off.
2 wheels, the differential locks, and the tire falling off the truck, all in one night. 14 hours stranded in the desert. That was the craziest night ever. I was like, I'm so done. I never went back to the same part of the desert
that's
again.
when he came to the USA.
We used to drive like from one city to another through the desert.
That would have been super cool.
But there was just this one part where every time I went to, I had bad experiences. So I stopped going there. I used to go to
the triangle of the desert.
I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not going there again. That was nuts, dude. I know this was long. Thank you for your patience. You can forward it.
I was just wondering how this is a ghost story, but I guess.
But I'm thinking it's something supernatural. I don't know if it's a ghost story or not.
Maybe below that sand dune is a old grave
Were you on
site. Some people are buried there or something.
Yeah.
Were you on LSD when you were putting those?
No, and I wasn't.
The vehicle was on LSD.
But,
that's how I fueled it.
Actually, we were taught this in geography, where your sand dune can start from anywhere from a pebble that starts collecting dust on one side with the winds blowing, and then it grows into a huge mountain of sand. But it could have been a tombstone. You don't know
who's underneath.
But then again, I don't believe that ghosts are souls of people who've passed away. I believe they're separate. They're an entity by themselves.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Some fucked me up that night. It was something.
Some asshole he was with was just fucking with this truck on purpose.
Tell him a ghost story and then
2 wheels, differential locks, and a wheel popping.
Yeah, I think somebody would have been
4
fucking
things
with you, dude.
in one night.
Somebody left you there and like, yo, fuck this, fuck Omar, let's fuck
Or
with this
you know
truck.
what? While his truck's parked and he's sitting by the fire, let me go to the other side of the truck and pop off his lug nuts. Oh, when I inspected my studs with the wheel falling off, it was a huge off-road tire with 6 lugs. None of the studs were broken off. They were just unscrewed, clean off. No wear on the studs. Nothing
was the lug
broken.
nuts not right for that tire? Because you said you had to get a different tire on there. You know
Well,
what I mean?
I don't know, because that was a spare tire borrowed
That's what I'm saying.
off of
Maybe
my
the
buddy.
tire was wrong.
It's possible. I never found those lug nuts because they were gone.
They're still out there somewhere.
You know what I did? I used one lug from each of my tires.
There you go.
And then
That's
I
smart.
put
There
it
you go.
on and just to get home.
Right.
But
So you used
I-
3 lugs.
well, and one off the spare, so I think 4 total. Yeah, on a 6 lug design. But I reached home. It was horrible, and then I had to pay like it was pretty cheap, $1,000 for a whole fresh paint.
Yeah, it's just
coat.
pretty cheap. I guess for paint, that's cheap.
Yeah,
but-
for a full
From a
truck
gold
painted,
tooth to a paint job.
it was nuts. But then the truck got me enough, money when I sold it because it was a fresh coat of paint.
Okay.
And then I spent it all. I
on hookers and cocaine.
No, that was the first time I came to the States.
Ooh. Oh, there you go. Hookers and no cocaine.
No, I mean, I blew a lot of money on hotels, traveling around, gas. I rented a car from Buffalo, drove all the way down to Universal in Florida, stopped by my cousin's place in Atlanta, went everywhere on the East Coast pretty much. Yeah, it was fun.
Cool. Huh. Anybody else have any other crazy ghost, more towards ghost-related stuff?
Less car stuff, right?
That's what we're talking about, the haunted car Christine. It's fine.
Good movie.
Yeah.
You got anything?
I named off all my experiences, my little experiences I had. That's about it.
Out of everything I heard, I think Mike's was craziest, and that.
Like if that wasn't a dream,
dude, that would.
Your family just had to be fucking with you.
That was just nuts. Like, wow. I'm glad we
threw
saved
some
that
LSD
for
in my
last.
drink that day.
That was nuts.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to another podcast by the Mic Drop, featuring Shawn, Omar, and Mike. Merch link in bio. We had our first sale, by the way. Woo!
Good job.
Let me guess. Was it a bumper sticker?
Yeah, I think it was. So,
Mic Drop bumper stickers.
Don't forget, we will be donating to the Australia wildfire. If you buy the merch for the next month, we'll be donating. Any merch sold, get it now while it's hot. We got a whole new lineup.
Oh, yeah, we just designed some new stuff. I mean, I'm saying we.
Redesigned the leggings.
You got the new fleeces, right? What was that thing that you sent me the other day?
Fleeces aren't out yet. They'll be available.
They need to ruin their surprise.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a sponsorship and a collab with Adidas, but it's not working.
One day, we'll get there.
So, yeah, take it easy. Peace.
See ya.
Cheers.